So next we will discuss about women movement. Okay, now when we discuss about women movement, I have told you we will be covering certain other topics also when we discuss about women movement. So one topic that we have missed out in family, that is patriarchy and sexual division of labor, right? So patriarchy and sexual division of labor we are going to cover here. Apart from that, we are also going to cover violence against women. Okay, so this too we will cover, and as a solution to this we will be talking about women movement. Okay, so we will cover this these two. Patriarchy, we will try to understand what is patriarchy and what do you mean by sexual division of labor, why particular sex is doing different kind of occupation, okay, why that kind of difference is there. Then we will also talk about various violence. Many times I have discussed manifest violence, latent violence, etc. Exactly the same thing. I'll make it formal here so that we can complete that particular area also of the syllabus. So this is coming from last chapter of your paper 2, violence against women. So this is from family, paper 1 and paper 2 is there, so we'll cover it together. Then we will discuss about various measures to control this. So government side there are measures, from the state there are non-government measures. That is what social movement. So here we will discuss about women movement. So here, before we discuss about women movement, I am trying to develop the context. So if the question is about women movement, make the context from patriarchy, violence against women, and go through the women movement. Otherwise, this can be a separate question because this is directly there in your syllabus. You can see time and again this question is asked. Violence against women is also a separate question which can be asked in sociology. Not only sociology, in your GS1 as part of Indian society, in your essay also this question can be asked. So very important topic. Okay, but these are very simple things only. There is nothing much to discuss here. We'll just go through it. You know this difference already, sex and gender. Okay, so we have discussed that in stratification. So sex refers to biological difference between male and female, whereas gender refers to a particular set of attributes or belief associated with each sex. Do you want me to discuss this point again here? If you want, I can do that. We've done that in stratification. I've told you there are natural differences, right? Natural differences. So here, what is a natural difference? Sex. So when with the natural difference you try to attach certain values, then it will create an inequality. It will create evaluation at the individual level, then later evaluation at the cultural level, then there will be a ranking, etc. So it will finally become this gender, and gender role will be constructed. So that is what so gender refers to certain attributes like superiority, inferiority, preferability, rejection, right? I'm expecting that you know that. We have done this in stratification. Different societies have different conception about gender. The social roles are often differentiated on the basis of sex, which are referred to as gender roles or sexual division of labor. So sexual division of labor is what? The social roles are often differentiated. Now very famous feminist sociologist is there, An Oakley. According to her, the mother's role is also culturally constructed. Actually, this is not the women's role. It is culturally constructed, not giving birth to the child. When I am talking about mother's role, it is not giving birth to the child. It is obviously biological. So biologically, whatever is there, only female can give birth to the child. So that is there. But the role of mother, that is different than giving birth to a child. The role of mother is like when we discussed about Parson, I have told you emotional head, instrumental head, etc. Right? Apart from that, the mother have to take care of the child. Mother have to resign from the job, or mother have to take a long-term leave, right? So and have to take care of the child, etc. This is something which is socially created. It is not, natural. Okay, so thus a gender is culturally constructed. The sexual division of labor is not simply based on biological difference, but is generally colored by gender roles. The division of labor on the basis of sex is culturally constructed. For example, the housewife role of a woman is, in traditional society, is typical example of sexual division of labor. Okay, you can add this also, An Oakley here if you want. Since these are radical feminism, I am not adding that. Okay, so the problems associated with gender are generally understood in terms of authority or dominance of male or female. Okay, so here what are the main problems connected to gender? It is basically because of authority or dominance of male over female. This authority or dominance is what you call as patriarchy. So patriarchy is nothing but the authority or the dominance which is experienced by male over female. That's the patriarchy. So this pattern of authority or dominance is understood as patriarchy. The term patriarchy can be understood at two levels. Firstly, in terms of general authority given to male in the society. So at the level of society, you will find this kind of inequality or this kind of authority. In society also, male is preferred, male is superior, okay, male is desirable. So authority is actually given to the male. This is rooted in various cultural practices which give preference to male. Secondly, patriarchy can also be understood in terms of coercion or dominance faced by women in society. So what is that? It is in terms of discriminatory and exploitative practices like very less wages, salaries, more working hours, etc. Taking women for granted. Also sexual exploitation, sexual harassment, everything will come here, which is not accepted by culture directly but are practiced widely. Violence against women. Okay? Now the pattern of patriarchy can be observed at two levels. So firstly, within family you can experience patriarchy, like who is superior? The father is superior, or the husband is superior, or the brother is superior, right? So this you can see in any family, where male exercise both authority and domination over female. This manifestation come in the form of sexual division of labor, preference for male child, roles in decision making, violence against women, etc. So I don't think that I need to explain any of the term here. You know all this. Secondly, at the level of wider society. So wider society, what we see, the exploitation that women facing is nothing but the extension of familial pattern. So violence against women, you can see the domestic violence at the level of family, that will be extended in terms of sexual harassment at the office place, etc. Like that. Okay. So everything is extension of, like the example is there, confinement of women to a particular job. In house also, like sexual division of labor, right? You will be confined to the kitchen, you will do that kind of activity. Okay, similarly violence against women in terms of sexual harassment, dowry, prostitution, indecent representation of women, all these you can write as an example. In India, patriarchy is rooted in cultural context. Indian culture contains clear prescription with respect to gender roles, thereby constructing a strong notion of patriarchy. Various sociologists have understood this process in terms of Indological perspective. Sociologists like Gure, Prabhu, Kapadia, Karve, Airavati Karve, and later sociologists like Lila Dubey, Uma Chakravarti have attempted to understand patriarchy by comparing the actual reality and the one which is professed in books. Different studies on patriarchy have concluded that, what is the conclusion? Women in various religious texts have been portrayed as goddesses, but at the same time, in other texts, they have been relegated to other positions which are detrimental to their status. So in some textbooks, they are treated as goddesses like Lakshmi, Saraswati, all these Durga, all these goddesses are women, right? But in some other textbooks, in some other contexts, their status is totally detrimental. Various cultural practices, prescriptions like preference for sons, discriminatory rituals, excessive importance of the purity of women. See, if you remember when we discussed about family, I've told you a person cannot renounce the world without procreating a son. Okay, so you might have heard these concepts like son meta preference. What is son meta preference? Any idea?
Sir, there is a desire for the son. It has been discussed in Eco Survey.
Yeah, you keep on having children till you get a male child. Okay, so that is son meta preference. Because it is a kind of social security is assured with the male child. That is the expectation. Okay, so the parochial idea for the nature of women are the dominant reason responsible for the continuation of the discrimination against women. Apart from this, Western scholars forwarded various theories which are responsible for discriminatory gender role leading to patriarchy. So these theories, okay, this theories, nobody is going to ask you what are the theories, which lead to patriarchy. Okay, what you need is there is a biological theory which is given by Murdoch and Parson. To some extent it is relevant because it is given by Parson. Biologically, male is superior. That's it. Nothing more. You can read from Essential Sociology, Harlem Bose, all the textbooks it is mentioned. These are optional reading only. There is no point in discussing this in the class. It is not worth discussing in the class. Biological theory, seeing this itself you will understand. Biological capacity is therefore male. That is why male is experiencing the authority, dominance, etc. Secondly, economic explanation. That is by Engels. Okay, Engels. This you need to correct, Engels. Thirdly, occupational theory is there. Like woman is considered as a secondary breadwinner. Even the husband and wife is working, woman in that family is considered as the secondary breadwinner only. Even though woman is having more salary, she is still considered as the secondary breadwinner in that family. That is given by Frank Parkin. Okay, not Frank Parkin. Secondary breadwinner, you just write that. Class theory. This is given by Frank Parkin. So class theory means female never identified in her own status, but based on the family status, is either based on the father or based on the husband. Okay, so if you remember when we discussed about caste mobility, do you remember I have discussed two concepts? Can anyone recollect that? Anuloma and pratiloma, or hypergamy and hypogamy. You remember hypergamy, hypogamy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we discussed this already, and I've told you hypergamy is when, this is anuloma, is when like a Kshatriya woman
marrying from a lower caste to upper caste.
Yeah, a lower caste woman, that is Kshatriya woman, let's suppose, marrying a Brahmin. So your status are actually changing. Okay, so there is a mobility for female. Secondly, a Brahmin woman marrying a Kshatriya man, your status is coming to the Kshatriya status. So it depends on the other person at the caste level also and at the class level also. Frank Parkin, when he talk about this, is at the class level. I am also extending this to the caste level. You can talk about that. Even though it is in paper 1, still you can talk about caste. There is no restriction. There are some students who think that you cannot talk about caste in paper 1. Caste is very much important. You can, whenever it is required, you can talk about caste. Okay. Then cultural theory. Like mothers, yeah, I've already told this. An Oakley, mother's role is culturally constructed. So go through these theories. Everything is there in Harlem Bose. You just need to go through Harlem Bose, and maybe in Nitin Sangwan also you can go for this. Okay. So one time reading is required for this anyway. So you will get some better idea. So that's about patriarchy and sexual division of labor. Whatever addition come to your mind, whatever we are going to discuss in the next topic, that is violence against women, also can be added in patriarchy. So any doubt is there in that topic?